Okay, so this class will build slightly on the class that we had last week, but it's not so different that it's going to be like people are, and no one's going to be lost. It's still all on the floor. It's still super chill. I would like you guys to grab maybe a pillow or something that you could put under your knees when we're in kneeling positions, or a little bit of a blanket if you need some extra space, because a lot of us don't have very flexible ankles. And you can just take like the throw blanket that is on your couch and kind of roll it up and tuck it behind your thighs, between your knees if necessary, in child's pose to kind of take some of that pressure out. But it's going to be really, 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 really easy. All right. And then also use the chat if you need to send anything to me. I'll be paying attention as much as I can. And you guys will probably see Brett at some time because I feel like he can't resist this. So just, we're all going to start together in a comfortable seated position. If your hips are really tight, feel free to take that blanket that I was just talking about, that I just folded up, and put it under your butt. It'll take some of the tightness out of the knees, it'll take some of the pressure out of the hips, and it'll make this a lot easier for all of us. So just take a moment, find that comfortable position, take a nice deep breath in, get the spine nice and long, straighten the back, big exhale, and then just kind of relax. Breathe normally. Pay attention to your breathing, but don't try and change it. The way we breathe, it, has a lot to do with the way we interact with the world. If you get stressed out, you'll find that your breathing kind of increases in its pace. When you're nice and relaxed, or you're with people you'll love, you'll find that your breathing actually starts to match the pace of theirs. So we'll all kind of bring it together, close our eyes, and just start breathing, paying attention to that breath. Nice and simple. So this set is going to have a lot of like spinal twist, forward bends, opening the hips, really working on a lot of the stuff that we normally have tension, those areas where we kind of crouch and fold and stretch out the muscles when we don't want to and don't engage them. So it's going to be a little bit more energetic, but it's still going to be very relaxing. So from this position, we're going to be nice, comfortable. I'm going to have you take your right hand over to your left knee. Your left hand over to your right knee. Your right hand behind you. And there's just going to be a gentle twist to the spine. We're going to start with a seated twist. Make sure your spine is nice and long. Try and keep those shoulders level. And even though there's restriction in the core, just make sure you take some breaths. Even if they're not deep, just keep breathing. Try and gaze over that right shoulder behind you. And take a few breaths here. Starting to bring awareness to the breath, awareness to the way the body feels right now. Still probably very tight. Nice deep breath in. Exhale, return yourself to the middle. Make sure you get nice and long and straight. And then we're going to take the right hand over to the left knee, left hand behind to support your spine, and twist in that direction. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, twist just a little bit more. That's always the pattern. You're always going to inhale, lengthen, exhale, twist with any of the twisting postures. Stay here. Keep breathing. Gaze over the left shoulder gently. You don't have to twist the neck. Nice deep breath in. Exhale and return to the center. You guys definitely know the next one. We're going to move into cat-cow. So come to your hands and knees. You can remove the blanket or pillow, but just make sure you keep it close because we're going to use it again. All right. So with the hands and knees, you always want to make sure the wrists are stacked under the shoulders and the knees are stacked under the hips. Everything's nice and straight. And we start with cow. So inhale, drop the belly toward the mat, toward the floor. Lift the tailbone, open the chest. Stretch, exhale, push the floor away from you, round the spine up. Inhale, cow, drop the belly. Arch the spine with the tailbone pointing up towards the ceiling. Use all of your fingers to make sure you're grounded into the floor. Exhale, round. Push away from the floor. Arch your spine just like the Halloween cat in every Target ad. So keep moving like this on your own, with your own pace. Inhale, drop the belly. Exhale, round the spine. Keep going. Stay here. And really become aware of your own breath. You don't have to change anything. All right, so come into a neutral back on your next exhale, and then we'll move into child's pose. If you've got knees that have a little pain, put that pillow underneath your knees or that blanket underneath your knees. If you've got a little more tension in the hips, put it behind the thighs, in between the calf and the thighs. But what you're going to do is you're going to widen your knees about mat width. Doesn't have to be that wide, but about there. Bring the big toes together behind you and sink back into the hips. This can provide a lot of pressure for people who have any tightness in the hamstrings or the glutes, so this may be enough for you. If you have a little bit more room, walk the hands forward, trying to keep the fingertips on the floor, active. Melt the chest towards the floor. If you can, bring the forehead as close to the floor as you can. Breathe into the body. Breathe into the upper back. Bring the shoulders down and away from the ears. And just allow this relaxation position to take over your body. Nice deep breath in and out. And then use your hands to gently walk back and push yourself back up to tabletop. We're going to try something a little bit different this time. We're going to move into baby cobra. So what I want you to do is lower yourself all the way to your belly. And then you're going to have your hands directly below your shoulders. Keep your legs zipped together, almost like a snake's tail, and keep them engaged. We want to have a little bit of energy flowing through the lower body without using any of the arm muscles. I want you to inhale and then float the head and the chest off of the floor, using the energy in the lower back. Exhale, relax. Forehead to the floor. We're going to try this a couple times to just get a little bit of warmth back there without really making anything too pinchy or overwhelmed. So take a nice breath in and out while you have the third eye connected with the ground. Inhale, lift the head and the shoulders off of the ground, not using any of the weight in the hands, just the back. Try and keep the neck long. We don't need to be gazing up at the ceiling with this one. Hold, breathe in, breathe out, and relax the forehead back to the ground. Nice deep breath in, and you can take a breath out through the mouth. Just enjoy the relaxation after that tension. All right, we are going to move into the pose that takes the most strength in this entire set. So move back up to tabletop using your hands. You can push yourself up, hands and knees. Tuck your toes. Make sure the hands are engaged. Spread your fingertips wide. Use the fingertips to take the weight out of the wrists, because this is really hard for a lot of us who spend a lot of time typing or on a computer. I have a lot of pain when I spend a lot of time on my wrists. So just try and make sure you get as much of the weight in your fingertips as possible, and that makes it a lot easier. Shoulder tips away from the ears or shoulders away from the ears. Push down through the hands. Lift the knees and then bring the hips up toward the ceiling while pushing back with the arms. Relax the neck. Take a nice deep breath here. In. Big sigh out. Pedal the legs. We're going to bend one knee at a time. Lift the ankle one by one. My knees always sound like Rice Krispies on this one, so take it nice and slow. I definitely try to always let everyone know that sometimes those heels will never, ever, ever in your lifetime reach toward the floor, but you can stretch the hamstrings, you can try and get there. One by one, just keep bending the knees, lifting the ankles, slowly. Push through the arms, try and get the chest as close to the shins as possible. And pause. Release the heels toward the mat. Push the hands away from the floor. Shake your head yes. Make sure that neck is nice and relaxed. Shake your head no. Pushing away from the floor. All right. After being upside down for a moment, which is always great for your parasympathetic system, but sometimes a little bit confusing for your actual brain, let you just breathe here, become reacclimated to being upright. Nice deep breath in, deep breath out. And then we're going to move into thread the needle. I want to stretch the upper back and the shoulders as much as I can right now. This one can be a little bit tense, so just move as your body allows. But come into all fours, into that tabletop position. And what I want you to do is reach your right hand all the way up to the ceiling, opening your chest, and then gazing up to those right fingertips. Nice deep breath. In, out. And then you're going to bring that right hand down under the left arm, across the chest. Slide it across the floor, palm up, and bring your shoulder, that right shoulder, and your right ear down to the floor. I'm going to switch around so you guys can see me a little bit better. So from here, this is threading the needle. Kind of makes a little bit of sense, right? I want you to keep your weight even in your knees. Your hips should be level, and you're going to feel a nice stretch on the backside of your shoulder blades. If you've got a little bit more left in your body, what you can do is you can take that arm here, and you can stretch it above overhead, fingertips to the floor, but that arm is nice and in line with your ear, stretching out the inside, that armpit, getting nice and deep into those shoulders. And then we're just going to relax here for a moment. Deep breath in, out. Bring the right hand back, right in front of your face. Push yourself up. We're going to bring that, left arm. And then we're going to bring the right hand right up all the way, follow it with the gaze, fingertips all the way up to the ceiling, and then bring it back to tabletop. Now we are going to switch sides as per usual. So make sure you're nice and steady in that all fours position. And then you're going to take a nice inhale, reach the left arm up towards the ceiling, opening the chest, gazing up toward the fingertips. And as those left fingertips drop, guide them under the right arm, along the floor, palm facing up, right across the chest. Drop that left shoulder and left ear to the floor. Take a breath. If you've got room, extend that arm, length of your ear up overhead, fingertips to the floor. Nice deep breath. All right. Inhale, exhale. Bring that right arm right in front of the face. Push up and come back into tabletop. This next pose might actually be one of the most difficult ones we're going to do in this set, but we're not going to stay here very long. We don't have that much time, so we'll kind of move through the next ones somewhat quickly. So from that tabletop position, I want you to bring your right foot next to your right hand. This is going to create some tension in the knee. If you need a little bit extra padding, that's exactly what that blanket or pillow is for. And you can stay here on the hands with that extra stretch because your hips are automatically going to shift forward in this position. And you'll probably get a nice deep stretch. I want you to breathe into it. Try and drop that left hip. Get a stretch on both sides. And we're coming close to lizard. Not quite there, but we're moving our body closer to that position. All right, so push up, shift that right hip back, come back into hands and knees, and then you can switch to the other side. Left foot is going to come right up by that left hand. Left palm to the floor, shift the hip forward. Your chest is going to be open, back is nice and straight, but make sure your neck is relaxed. Stay here and let it release. That groin area, it's nice and tight. Take a breath in and out. And push back. Let yourself come into tabletop. All right, so now we get to just come to seated, which is always fun. If you want to sit down, face me, extend your legs out to the front. And then we're going to do a seated wide forward bend. So with your legs here, if you can bring them about 90 degrees, you want to bring them typically as wide as you can, but while we're working on it, like you're not trying to bring them here. Whatever your body allows, it's great, because whatever can keep your legs straight with no like crazy bend in the knees, and then your feet flexed with toes pointing towards the ceiling. If that's accessible for you, whatever angle it takes, that's what you should do today, because that is really what a practice is about, is whatever your body can do today, because action requires rest. So give yourself permission to do both. All right, so take a nice deep breath in, extend the spine, make it nice and long, bring the core in, open the chest, shoulders down and away from the ears. Bring your fingertips between the legs, and gently walk forward to where you meet your edge. We're not trying to go too deep. We don't want anything too crazy. As long as you feel a stretch here and a little bit of a stretch here, you're doing exactly what you need to do. I had a conversation with my mom the other day when we were doing class, because after doing this for 20 years, have a little bit more flexibility than the average bear. And I don't ever want to want people to think that they have to be at the same level that I am. So whatever works for your body today is progressing you towards your next class. And that's all you have to focus on. If you can come down to the forearms, yay. As long as you can keep that back straight and that chest open. You don't want to be collapsing into the middle, because this is really all about opening up the hips. Right, inhale, exhale, push yourself back up to a nice tall position. And then we're going to come onto our back. We have 2 more poses, and one of them is corpse pose. So it's going to be nice and easy. So relax at this point. What you're going to do, come onto our back. The next one is Happy Baby. It's not actually like a true yoga pose, but it's just like Bananasana, which is one of my favorites. It's become a regular in trying to help people release the tension in their bodies. So you're on your back, bend your knees, and then bring your knees in towards your chest. You're going to keep them a little bit wider than your rib cage. And then if you bring your hands your arms between the legs. I'm going to have you grab the outside of your feet, the pinky toe side of your foot with your hands. Try and keep the soles of the feet pointing towards the ceiling. Your knees are going to move out towards your armpits. And honestly, this could be very much enough for a lot of people. What I want you to do is press your feet away from your body and try and just create a little bit of tension by pulling back with the hands from the outside of the feet. And you can move in this position. Rock gently from side to side. It's going to give a nice little massage to the lower back. Pull those arms down. Get a little bit of extra space in the hips. One leg at a time, you can extend. Bring it back. Extend one leg. Bring them back. Just think of yourself as like a little baby, enjoying your feet, enjoying your toes, figuring it all out, being super relaxed. Nice deep breath in, deep breath out. Just do whatever feels good in your body right now. All right, release the arms, release the legs. And we're going to come into our final relaxation pose. So Shavasana, get ready to just chill out. Prepare for relaxing for the rest of the evening. Your legs are extended, very soft. The feet flop out to the sides. Try and keep your arms just a little bit away from your body with the palms facing upward. Draw the shoulders underneath your chest. Take a nice deep breath. And bring awareness to the breath. Close your eyes and relax. At this point, hopefully the pace of the breath has had an opportunity to slow down a little bit. Become a little bit deeper and richer, but don't force anything. We're going to take just a few minutes here. Breathing. Allowing the body to adjust. Relax. Hopefully none of you have a lot going on later. So you can just chill out for the rest of your evening. So we're going to take a few breaths in silence. All together, but at our own pace. You guys have done a wonderful job. You've relaxed every muscle, every cell in your body. Just kind of accepted what it was to be in the present moment, which is tough for everyone to do. So thank yourself for taking the time. Even though it was a quick 30 minutes, you treated yourself. You acknowledged your own being and how you felt in this 30 minutes. All right, take a nice deep breath in, out, and we're going to bring awareness back into the body slowly, nice and gentle. Start to wiggle the toes, wiggle the fingers, take some deeper breaths, stretch the spine, and then slowly I'm going to have you roll over to your side, and then whatever works for your body, just gently bring yourself back up to a comfortable seated position. I'm going to unmute you guys for sure. Yay. Once again, you guys, I am feeling like so ridiculously blessed for you even being here with me, for you going through this with me, because it's been a lot of my life that I've wanted to provide this for people. So the simple fact that you guys are even for free, like allowing me to be here with you in your houses and making this time for yourself and for me, it just is super, super amazing. So thank you so much. Really appreciate yourself and appreciate everyone else that was here that also kind of created that chill energy, and like, have a wonderful Sunday. I love you guys all so much.